this revival, I became convicted that I should ask God to save me. I didn't really give my life to Him, and I didn't really ask Him to live in me. I just asked Him to save me. At that point, even though God was important to me, my friends were way more important. I needed to belong. I didn't think I belonged anywhere else, so I just needed this group of guys. And so when I started drinking, I was immediately, at 15, I was immediately beyond human aid, and I knew that. I knew I would never be able to quit drinking on my own. It never occurred to me to ask for help. It never occurred to me to look to God. I just went on drinking. From that moment, the rest of my life up until 32 years ago was about accommodating the need to drink alcohol. But I knew I couldn't stay drunk all the time. I was a pretty good producer in business, and ran a business, just had my own business and all this kind of stuff, accumulated things. So it wasn't like I fell down drunk every day, but I had to have alcohol. I couldn't have done this without a drink of alcohol. I mean, there's just no way. I just had to have it to accommodate the things I had to do. I don't know how to impress on you, but I was really insane. For example, I would go to this office where I did work, and I'd just go sit at my old desk. Nobody had it. I'd just sit there, didn't do anything, but I'd just sit there, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and talk to some people. Everybody's nice to me. They just looked at me like, real funny, like, you're crazy. They didn't touch me. I found out after I got sober, I hadn't worked there for over a year. He had fired me a year before, and it didn't dawn on me that there was nothing on my desk. I was insane. Lock-upable insane, I suppose. I was in an office building where I got in a fight with my fiance, and I stormed out of the building, just angry, really angry, and all of a sudden God came over me and gave me a peace that I can't tell you about. I mean, it's indescribable, a peace that's otherworldly, I guess. And he started talking to me audibly, which is kind of like, freaky. He says, Stan, you have a job to do with your life. The only way you can do it is to be sober, and the only way you can be sober is through a 12-step program that chooses to remain anonymous. And I started doing that. On December the 9th, in 1981, I'd been to a Christmas party and then got real jealous because they could drink and I couldn't. And I took my fiance home and I went downtown to a dive bar. I mean, it's a really filthy, unsafe place to be, but I went there. I ordered scotch and water, took it, drank it, went back to order another one. He says, 2 o'clock, can't serve you. So I started going around the room, picking up what's left and drinking it. It didn't matter what was in it, I just drank it. And it got to a point where I started to do like this with this drink. And I said out loud, I don't know who this is, but this is not the man that Louis Napier raised. So I got on my knees and I said, God, would you get me home? And all of a sudden, he didn't speak or anything, he just let me know something. I realized, I said out loud, I belong there. And he said, that's right. And as long as you remain a member of that group in your heart, you never have to drink again, which is different from you'll never drink again. I said, I got it. I'll be a member, I'll stay there. And I have for 32 years. Because I've been around Quest for a few years and hearing the way it's all presented and everything. And I'm in a real fight with myself as to, it's obvious God is present in my life. I can name you hundreds of stories about how God's being involved in my life. Why wouldn't I be saved? Why not? So one night, sitting there talking to Connie Sanders, and she said, why are you so angry? And instead of being angry and leaving, which is what I would normally do, I said, I don't have a clue. I'm just angry, but I don't know why. So they went and got some other people, and this one guy said, are you going to let your spiritual pride send you to hell? I said, I don't want to. He said, well, take a look. And I did. I sat there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I said, well, I really want him in here. And so I got led in this prayer just to, and understood I was inviting him into my heart and was giving him my life. But then, like that next morning, well, even that night and the next morning, I was aware of his presence inside me. And that's the way it's been since then. You can't always tell it, because I'm pretty much a human. But that's the way it is. He's never left me. He really loves me. He just really does. And that hasn't gone away. As you know, because of my head, 5 months ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, 4th stage cancer. Immediately, not immediately, but with a really, really short order, started taking chemo, and I was scared. Like the first 2 weeks between these treatments, it was a mess. I mean, I was disconcerted and angry and just mainly afraid, mainly just afraid. Once I had this conversation with God, I sat down somewhere, and I remember just talking about stuff to him, and finally I looked up and I said, God, if you don't do something, this could kill me. And he said, Stan, what's wrong with that? So I said, I guess nothing, and then the fear just left. I mean, I hadn't had it since. But once you see that you can live, I guess he showed me that it was fear. I may not have known that if something hadn't happened, but once you know it's fear, that's a boogeyman. You don't have to live with fear. He died on the cross to take that away. And so I asked him to take it away, and he did. When the fear left, it was replaced by trust. And I guess what that means to me is I don't obsess on this disease. I don't obsess on the situation. I don't go into doldrums about this is what's going on with me, poor me, because I know. Well, he throws little things at me. He'll speak to me or give me a feeling, like that warm hug thing. He just does things to let me know he's there, let me know he's listening. He's not a theory. He's real, and he's interested in my life. And you can trust that. I mean, that's the deal. I'm very grateful for where he has me with this whole thing. Just amazing what he's done for me. He just sent people. But I believe he told me, he said, this is not unto death. In fact, it's unto life. He said, I'm going to show you some things and teach you some things that's going to change your whole life and what you do with it. He didn't further explain that, and I don't know what that means. But I believe it, and I can't wait.